Welcome to this week's edition of Fun Activities in 5. This is going to be less of a student fun activity and more of a helping the teacher activity. So this week I want to show you and talk you through what I do as a reading quiz. When I'm giving a reading quiz, my goal is to give students something that they haven't read before, but that mimics things that we have read before. I do not ever put any new words or structures in a reading quiz because I don't think that's fair. Even if it's a cognate, I don't use it. I keep the vocabulary that is in the reading quiz to things that we have done in this unit or things that I am confident they remember from previous units. So this particular reading quiz is centered around our unit on some Super 7 verbs. So in this we used hacer, which is I guess more Sweet 16, but hacer, ir, poder, and haber for I. This also has vivir in it because we've used vivir at this point in every unit that we've done. This is our third unit that we do. And so they've seen it every time. So I went ahead and put it in, even though it's not technically one of the unit verbs for this unit. This particular unit, we centered it around the house. And so rooms of the house, things that you would find in a house, things that you do in a house. So like chores, rooms of the house, and household items are vocab that we worked with in this unit. And if you are sitting here thinking, I thought you were a CI teacher, what do you mean you're giving your students vocabulary? Students can have vocabulary. It's okay. It's okay. It's not going to be the end of the world. They need to have some exposure to vocab or they're never going to learn any words, okay? I do not give vocab quizzes. I do not ever make students produce that information. What I do instead is we spend about a week where we go through questions on this type of vocabulary. If you've used my password units, that is how I get them really exposed to this vocabulary. So we're talking about what room of the house do you do this in? What chore do you do in this room? What kind of thing do you find in this room? Where do you find this thing? We're going through all of that. So getting plenty of exposure to the vocab. And I'm not throwing anything tricky in here. I'm not like, how do you say the pipe underneath the sink? Like, that's not in here. We're talking very general, very common things that have been over and over and over and over and over by the time we get to this reading quiz. So with this quiz, what I do is I write about a paragraph. This, I believe, is close to 10 sentences, so it's not a lot. I do bold, you can see the bold words there. I do bold the words from the unit so students can see them. You can see this is a lot in the first person because it's people having conversations. So second and first person of saying like, I need to do this. What do you need to do? I want to whatever. Because I think that it's important that students can use more than just the third person. A lot of times in CI and ADI curriculum and materials, we see third person, third person, third person, third person. Well, I don't know about you, but most of the time when I'm speaking, I am using the first person. So I need students to be able to see and recognize that. So I give them this little paragraph. This little paragraph is based on warm-ups they've had all week. Warm-ups like, I can clean the bathroom in the kitchen, true or false. I can make my bed in the living room, true or false. So they get those kinds of statements all week, and that generates basically this paragraph. I re-put them together. For the questions at the bottom, we are going for comprehension questions. This is a Spanish 1 class, so these are really targeted around that novice mid area. Some of the questions do push into novice high because we do believe in pushing our students because they are able to do it. Questions like, where does the person live when it says he lives right here? What does he do? Who does this chore? Who doesn't do this chore? Things like that. I've given a reading quiz like this for every unit this year so far. 90+% of my students make a 90 or 100 on the quiz. It is very grade level, but it's also very proving that students are acquiring the language by things like using passwords and working with questions and working with writing and speaking and listening and all of those things every single time we do a unit. Plus, they're actually acquiring a lot of content vocabulary for things that they need, like talking about where they live. So I hope you will give this a try. These quizzes are going to be in the new versions of the units for my curriculum that I am going to be re-releasing. As I re-release them, these quizzes will be a part of it. I hope to see you guys next time.